Hey, it's Matt from HowToMotorcycleRepair.com. Right now I'm sitting on an 81 CB750 K1. And it doesn't run so good, so we're going to take it for a test ride. Alright, this thing's barely unrideable. Half that time I was riding with the choke on, and it's bogging, it's stuttering, it's just not running right. So I'm guessing there's some vacuum leaks and probably the carbs are out of sync. So let me get this up on the lift and let's see what's going on. Alright, so we're working on this CB750. I pulled the seat and the tank, and what I want to do is run this with the tank off and check for vacuum leaks and you know, whatnot. So right off the bat, what I noticed is these filters don't have any oil on it. It's definitely not the issue, but that's something that we're going to have to do. I've disconnected the vacuum line from the engine, and over here what I've done is I put a silicone cap on the plug, or on the port, and then I've hooked up my own vacuum hose to this fuel petcock. I applied 20 inches of vacuum, and I'm looking to see if it's a source of a vacuum leak. And as you can see, it's rock steady, and also applying vacuum will open this up, allowing me to hook up my auxiliary fuel tank here. I'll go ahead and turn the fuel on, and we're going to start this up in a second. But I'm going to move the camera down here. I noticed something interesting. It's leaking fuel, so let's just see what's going on there. Alright, so here we're looking underneath the carbs, and here's the accelerator pump device, and it's leaking fuel right at the mating surface here. So as I pump the throttle, check out what happens. You just see fuel pouring out of there. See that? So instead of shooting fuel into the motor, it's just leaking all over the engine. So that's definitely a lean condition, and it'll bog and whatnot. So that's definitely one issue. Let me start this thing up and idle it and see if we can find any vacuum leaks. Alright, so let's start it up and spray these areas for potential vacuum leaks. Use Carb Clean, propane, starting fluid. I'm using brake clean because I'm out of Carb Clean, but you know, starting fluid and Carb Clean work the best. Propane works okay. What's nice about that is you don't drip all these solvents on your paint and damage it. So after you spray, make sure you blow off with air all the wet surfaces. You don't want that stuff sitting there and damaging your paint. So having said that, let's start. Alright, right off the bat, I sprayed right here, and you notice that it revved up. Any idle change, whether it's lower or higher, indicates a vacuum leak. So right there, you know, these boots all the time, man. Old bikes, guaranteed to leak. Now let's check the throttle shafts. Alright, so far we have a leak at the throttle shafts and the boots. Now, I don't know, I'm not familiar with these carbs. I don't know if there's a seal in there or not, but usually there's either a rubber seal or a felt seal. The felt doesn't really do much. So I'm going to have to look at the exploded diagram to see what's in there and see what can be ordered. This bike only has 3,900 miles on it, so I doubt that the shafts are worn. There's probably a seal or something that's not doing its job. So, you know, rubber degrades over time. This is an 81. It's probably all original, so, you know, that's to be expected with these older bikes. Let's go to the other side and check the other two carbs. Checking throttle shafts now. Check the one in the middle too. Alright, throttle shafts and boots. And not to mention that accelerator leak. Now supposedly these carbs were just removed, cleaned, overhauled. Not sure what exactly was done, and anytime someone's been in the carbs, that's almost guaranteed to go through it and double check everything that was done, because you never know if someone's jetted in the past, or, you know, people love to tinker with carbs. So I'll probably take these carbs off, clean them myself, double check all the jetting specs, oil the filters. I'll have to decouple all of them to remove the do something about the throttle shafts, new boots, and probably replace all the fuel joint O-rings, because because they usually leak as well. So yeah, that's what you're in for a job like this. Now, I'll probably do a video on all this, but let me go hop on the computer and see what parts are needed for this job. So hang tight. I'll see you back here in a bit. Alright, unfortunately, I'm not taking this bike any further than the diagnosis. To summarize, we found some vacuum leaks at the intake boots and the throttle shaft seals. So I did a little digging on it, and in fact the throttle shaft seals, they're really not seals, they're felt washers. Felt is very porous. I had a Nighthawk recently where the throttle shafts were leaking, and I replaced the felt seals, and 50% of the leaks went away, and it ran okay, but by any means was it 100%? No. So for this job, I just want to point you in the right direction, since I won't be taking this any further. There's a shop called randax.com. That's 2 Ks, and I'll have a link to that on my blog post here. But they supply a master overhaul kit, and it comes with O-rings that can be used in place of the felt washers. Now the O-rings will provide a much better seal, and that's probably the best way to go. I contacted them. They do not sell the O-rings separately, since supposedly these carbs were overhauled already, and I don't know what parts were new in there, but in any case, you kind of have to buy the whole kit, and also you can purchase a booklet from them which will give you instructions on how to rebuild the carbs. So in any case, that website again is called randax.com. I'll have a link to that. As well, if you're interested in looking up the felt washers, you can go to motorcyclecarbs.com. That's where I purchased the felt from. And again, those felt washers, I would not recommend buying those. You can probably go to Hobby Lobby and buy very dense felt and punch your own out, because they are quite expensive, like $7-8 each, and in my opinion, it ain't worth the effort to put those in. So that's it. Let me again point you in the right direction on how to fix this, but you know, that's it for this video. So thanks for watching. I'm Matt from howtomotorcyclerepair.com. Check out the site. Thanks.